The Paralympics Report
on Off the Ball
with Toyota Ireland. Start your impossible.
Okay, it's one of the best parts of the day at the moment because we get to luxuriate in incredible athletic performances by our Paralympians. And a reminder, the Paralympics are obviously in full swing at the moment. We've got our Paralympics report every evening around tea time. It's all thanks to Toyota Ireland. The hashtag is Start Your Impossible, and I'm delighted to say Niamh Talon from hersport.ie is with us to talk about one of the best athletic partnerships that we've had in Irish sports history. I mean, a third medal, a second gold, pretty amazing stuff today.
Yeah, absolutely phenomenal. Katie George Dunleavy and Eva McChrystal have managed to bag their second gold medal of the Paralympic Games and the third medal to their tally of Tokyo 2021. It's been an exceptional competition for them. It was a 92.4 kilometre race, so they were out there for quite some time racing against their competition. There was really bad weather in terms of torrential rain today, so it was certainly not an easy task at hand, and they were under pressure by the Swedish and the British cyclists as well. So a really good performance from the Irish team. They made a break at about 500 metres or just before 500 metres to go and pushed on to claim their second gold medal of the competition. So
this was all strategic. They were concerned about the sprint power of the Great British team in particular.
Yeah, no, they had wanted to kind of break away from them beforehand. I think they have known their kick. In the World Championships in June, they got the silver medal, so they would have been looking to upgrade it from that. In the Rio Paralympic Games, they also claimed a silver medal there, so they'll be absolutely thrilled with the gold medal that they won today.
The weather, like, we can't overstate just how bad the weather was. It was so bad that some of the other teams were actually pulling out, teams with medal hopes.
Yeah, no, in some other events, there were people that were stepping back and actually pulling out of the competition. So it really does, express how bad the weather was today. So in terms of how they got on, Eve was just speaking about how technical the competition was in terms of the turns. She said it's the most stressful race she's ever done in her life as a pilot. So it sounds like a lot of pressure was on her to make sure that they delivered. But she said just with the weather and the corners, it was quite difficult. She said that the Swedish were doing some really, really good technical turns and were really good on the technical parts of the course. So she was very conscious of them and making sure that they weren't, getting away too much and really staying in the game. But she said she can't believe that they won. That she's very shocked, but she's absolutely delighted. Did see a video that she shared on her Instagram story of her mom and her aunt and uncle, and they were just, really, really excited watching them as they made that break and claimed the gold medal. But there's just so much excitement in the McChrystal household, and they'll be delighted to see 3 medals coming home.
Yeah, when you think about it, 3 medals in the same games is absolutely sensational stuff. So delighted for them. Katie George Dunleavy has been talking about her struggles at school.
Yeah, so she said she found school really, really difficult. Somebody at 11 that was diagnosed with her visual impairment. So I think she wants, younger people that have vision impairments to believe in yourself. There are things you can do, and that's what she would tell someone young with sight issues at home that's watching them race, and show that there's so many things that you can achieve and overcome in life. So she said that she'd would have loved to be able to tell herself that when she was younger, but obviously now she can be an incredible role model for those around her, with or without vision impairments. But obviously she really wants to connect with that audience and, really inspire, people that may be struggling with that and find things like school and other aspects of life a little bit challenging.
Yeah, there's the consistency that they've done this now over such a long period of time. Like, we know how difficult it is for anybody to get to that level once, but for them to have done it over the years now that they have done it, that speaks to a dedication, it speaks to a commitment, it speaks to the quality of work, and it speaks to the relationship that they have as well. I remember we talked before about the first time they met. They actually just got up on the bike to see if there was enough chemistry there for them to be able to do it, and I think it was somewhere out around the airport. Went for a cycle and decided, yeah, okay, this is going to work, and here they are. I think that's 5 or 6 years later, and they've had 2 incredible Olympic Games.
Yeah, look, they've been really impressive in terms of what they've achieved. And yeah, I've spoken to Eve as well about the getting up there as the pilot and the nerves, and said that they just kind of had to go for it. But they really do seem to work really well together. At this stage, it's, will they be continuing on for a couple more years? Will we see them in Paris? Like, it depends on, it's obviously a shorter cycle, and everybody's been talking about the fact that there's 3 years to go till Paris. But I think, like, I spoke to Eve in the last 9 months, and she was saying she wasn't sure that she would stay stay on for another Paralympic Games, and that has been kind of during COVID times. But I don't know if the medals and the success that they have will change her mind. Like, she knows that certainly Katie George will be continuing. You know, she's been like working so hard, and she is the younger of the duo, and Eve obviously wants what's best for Katie George. But you know, there's work and children and everything comes into Eve's life. It's very difficult, I'm sure, to manage being a full-time athlete and managing managing life as well. You know, there's a lot of other responsibilities that she has there. But look, they've obviously had massive success, so it's hard to know whether she will actually step back at this point, or if she thinks another 3 years is feasible for her and her life situation.
Well, hopefully they can ride away with this for a year, and they can kick that can down the road a little bit and see what kind of form they're in 12 months' time. But certainly it is an incredible story, and we should celebrate it now, and really in the moment do pay proper testimony to it, because it's phenomenal stuff that they've done. So let's move on and talk about the Martin Gordon and Eamon Byrne. This is also in the B tandem road race.
Yeah, so they were competing in the same event, and they got off and started, but in the torrential rain they just decided that they were going to pull out. So they pulled out pretty close to the start. They are track specialists, and overall they said that they have nailed their performance. They were really happy with their overall performance at the Games. In terms of some other competitions that they've been at, they felt that they may have underperformed or things didn't go just right, and they said at this Paralympic Games that there were no what ifs or any question marks over their performance. They were really thrilled with how they got on, so that's a really good thing to hear from two athletes. They said there's no question marks over anything that they've achieved. I'd say it's a really difficult decision to decide to pull out, but in terms of the rain, if they felt uncomfortable in that situation and navigating it, it's very understandable. In a tandem bike situation, in any bike situation, to decide actually no, we're not going to continue with this.
Yeah, like obviously a heartbreaking moment for them, but probably the right thing given that they are track specialists. But again, I just remind you, that's how bad the weather was today, and then the women went out and won their gold as well. So fairly sensational performance from them. A bit of backstory on these two. They've met through the Guard, is that correct?
Martin is a barrister with the Gardaí, and Eamon is a member of An Garda Síochána. So yes, they're both working in with the Guards. They seem to have a really good relationship, a really good partnership. They have been competing since about 2017, and in 2018 claimed silver in the UCI Track World Cup in the 200 metre sprint. So they very much are track specialists. Like 200 metres versus the distance that it was today is completely different. So look, they don't want to be putting themselves in a situation where maybe this was something that they were going to do just for experience and to see how they would get on, but when the weather comes into it, you don't want to end up in a situation where you're having an accident and hurting yourself. So they possibly decided to step back for that reason. Okay,
and what happened in the road race with Ronan Grimes?
Well, unfortunately in the road race for Ronan Grimes, he did actually have an incident. So his bike jackknifed under a bridge today, trying to avoid another crash. So after the first lap, only 11 riders stayed in the race, so that again, that kind of explains how bad the weather was. He did have too much to catch up on in terms of the group, but very admirably continued the race. Was about 2 hours on his own and did finish in 11th place. So very difficult to continue that from a mental perspective, like cycling on your own for 2 hours, knowing that everybody else is ahead of you, knowing that other competitors have pulled out of the race. So fair play to him for continuing on. He's had a really good Paralympic Games. He said it's an honour to be here. He's performed as well as he could in every race. Obviously that 4th place finish was exceptional, and he had a 6th place finish as well. So I think there's loads more to come from him over the next couple of years. Like, he really does seem to be doing very well.
Okay, staying with the road race, Rochelle Timothy.
Yeah, so Rochelle gave it a really, really good effort. She stayed with the lead group for the first lap, and there were a lot of pushes and attacks on the hill. She kind of got dropped along the way after that, as people are really trying to break away in that. She just didn't have it in her legs today. So she finished in 11th place, narrowly beating Sarah Ellington of New Zealand. She said she was told 3 years ago to find something to do other than sport, and she really wanted to retain sport in her life, and now she's delighted that it's something that she can get out and do and gives her purpose in her life, and that it's actually her livelihood. So this is somebody that we would have spoken about how actually played underage football for Ireland. So letting go of sport would be a very difficult thing, and it's obviously great to see that it's been something she's able to maintain and keep at it.
Oh yeah, okay, that's two amazing stories really when you think about it. So the ability to finish off when everybody else, like we've seen those videos in the past, and kind of that's the whole point about the Olympic spirit, and to go to the Paralympics and to finish even though you know you've no chance of winning. It's pretty special stuff. And then for Rochelle, that comeback story is incredible. Patrick Flanagan in the 100 metres backstroke heat, how did he get on?
Patrick Flanagan finished 5th in his heat today. He had a season's best of 1:26.81, so he'll be pretty happy to go out in a decent time. He stayed in touch with the leaders in the opening 50. He said he's just really loving the atmosphere. He said it's the best atmosphere that he's experienced at any competitions, international competitions that he's been at, in comparison to things like Europeans and World Championships. So it's great to see that he's having a good Paralympic Games, and as he said, he wanted to call himself a Paralympian and he wanted to get there. So he's achieved his dream by being there.
Okay, a reminder every day that we are updating you on what's going on in the Paralympics, on our daily Paralympic report. It comes your way every day around tea time. It's all with thanks to Toyota Ireland, and the hashtag is Start Your Impossible. Finally for now, Pat O'Leary in the KL3 canoe semi-final.
Yeah, so Pat, despite his fastest time this year, just missed out on the A final. He then competed in the B final and won that, so he'll be really happy. It's the best performance he's had so far this year. So that's a 9th place overall. He will be in action again in the semi-final of the VL3 tomorrow at 10:15, so definitely tune in and check him out there. He said in terms of the event that there's going to be there's 5 of them in the semi-final. He said he could cover them with a coin. It's going to be so tight. It's the top 3 to qualify. He said it'd be fabulous to make a final here, but what's important is that he does his best when he gets out there. He says, I know what I'm capable of. I know what it feels like to do a really good run. If I do that and someone's ahead of me, that's fine. If I do that and people aren't ahead of me, that's even better. So fingers crossed it's the latter and that he does progress through to that final.
A PB in a semi-final of a major tournament is exactly what you want. That's all you can ever ask for from people, or even the best time of the year so far. What are we looking forward to tomorrow?
So we'll have the semi-final obviously with Patrick O'Leary in that, and hopefully we will see him in the final later on. Then we have Philip Eaglesham in the shooting in the R9 event, which is his preferred event, so fingers crossed all goes well for him there. We will then have Mary Fitzgerald in the shot put and Michael McKillop in the 1500 metres. So 10 medals at a major championships. We'll be looking to see what he can do in that 1500 metres event.
Okay, good stuff. Niamh, thanks a million for that.
Thank you.
It's Niamh Talent from hersports.ie, and a reminder, this is our Paralympic report daily, coming your way every evening with thanks to Toyota Ireland, hashtag Start Your Impossible.
The Paralympics report
On Off the Ball
with Toyota Ireland. Start your impossible.